You're watching WXIN, Indianapolis. Now, live, Indiana's most complete primetime news, Fox 59 Nightcast.
An unexpected twist keeps the battle for gay rights in one Indiana town in limbo. Good evening, I'm Caroline Thau.
And I'm Bob Donaldson. Thanks for joining us. Lafayette could have become the only city to have an ordinance giving homosexuals protection against discrimination, but that didn't happen. Adam Shapiro was in Lafayette tonight, and he tells us what did. Adam, tell us about it.
Well, simply put, Bob, the Lafayette City Council voted not to vote. And you could tell what Lafayette City Council members had been saying all along, that this had been an emotional issue for their city. And you could tell it was emotional by watching Council member Linda Timmons. Her whole body, her hands trembling and shaking as she read a proposal to delay a vote on the ordinance.
A massive turnout for a big issue. Some were nervous. Some prayed for the outcome. But tonight, the people in Lafayette will have to wait a little longer before the gay rights issue is settled.
I believe this community will best be served by tabling this amendment for the purpose of pursuing whatever action is necessary to discuss and bring this vote to a referendum.
That means the city council will ask the state legislature to call a special election in Lafayette so voters can choose for themselves if homosexuals should have civil rights protection.
It's appalling that a city council that we elect decides not to place any opinions at all. They decided not to vote on it. I'm really surprised and appalled at that.
Well, I think it was a very wise decision because the overwhelming majority of this community was opposed to this ordinance. And I think it would have been political suicide for anyone on the council to vote in favor of this ordinance.
And political suicide is what the council avoided tonight, a decision Council President Ron Corbett fought against. He was the only person who voted against delaying the vote, saying the council's job is to protect the minority from the majority.
The nice thing is I think it will pass. I think once they look into a referendum and it won't go for that the city will finally make the right decision in voting yes for it.
So the unanswered question tonight in Lafayette is whether the state legislature will let the people of that city have a special election. And if so, Bob, when?
So let's look ahead. What if the state legislature says no to that special election?
Well, that's a possibility, and that's what gay rights activists are counting on. Then it's back in the city council's hands, and they'll have to vote one way or another. But right now, Bob, the ball's in the state legislature's court.
All right, thank you for that report, Adam.
Thank you, Adam. The Indianapolis gay community tonight is working slowly to get civil rights protection here. Many gay leaders say it will be slow in coming because the community is not politically organized. Should Circle City gays be protected against discrimination? Reaction is mixed.
We all walk around with the constitutional protections that the United States Constitution and our state constitution grant us. And I think to specifically name a gay group as a protected category separate from their status as just normal citizens is a step towards recognizing that type of lifestyle in a positive fashion. I don't think it's really a good moral precedent to set.
I feel that everyone should have their own civil rights, and I feel that no one should be discriminated against, especially speaking as a black man. I know that we are fighting for our rights at all times. I feel that everyone should have their own rights.
Public Safety Director Michael Beaver promised gay leaders last year he would not discriminate against homosexuals on the Indianapolis police or fire departments.
Two Southern Indiana teenage girls received the maximum prison sentence for murder. Both girls played key roles in the torture killing of 12-year-old Shanda Sharer. Nightcast Eric Wilkerson shows us how relatives of the victim and her killers are affected by the judge's ruling.
Moments after Melinda Lovelace is sentenced to 60 years in prison, her mother leaves the Jefferson County Courthouse in tears.
Do you have anything to say about the sentencing, ma'am?
She has no comment.
While the Lovelace family is sad, the victim's family is relieved.
Yeah, because I know they'll be behind bars for 60 years, and they won't get to walk the streets.
Lovelace and Lori Tackett pled guilty to beating, sodomizing, and burning Shanda Sharer alive last January. With good behavior, both girls could be eligible for parole in 30 years.
By pleading guilty, Lovelace and Tackett avoided a trial by jury where they could have received the death penalty. That's an opportunity the half-sister of Shanda Sharer says should have been taken away.
My sister's not here anymore, and they are, and that to me is not fair.
Jefferson County Prosecutor Guy Townsend says Lovelace plotted the murder because she believed Sharer had won the affection of her girlfriend. Witnesses testified Loveless wanted Shanda Sharer to die, and they said Tackett wanted to kill someone, anyone. Sadly, these horrible wishes came true at the expense of this pretty little girl. Derek Wilkerson, Fox 59, Nightcast.
Another suspect in the murder is awaiting trial. The fourth is still waiting to be sentenced.
A controversial IPD administrator is on his way out tonight. Associate Deputy Chief Jack Sandlin confirms he will retire from the police force in mid-February. Sandlin says he has accepted an administrative job with a local law firm. You might remember him as the target of a federal lawsuit filed by Police Captain Robert Turner, who said he was moved for speaking against the department. Some police sources also say Sandlin was on bad terms with Chief James Toller. In spite of that, Sandlin says leaving the force was simply the right opportunity at the right time.
Homicide officers are busy tonight working on 2 cases in the Circle City area. A train conductor found a man's body near some railroad tracks at Euclid and Massachusetts Avenues this afternoon. The body had multiple wounds, and police say foul play may have been involved. And a suspect in a homicide is under arrest tonight. Michael J. Green was taken into custody by Marion County Sheriffs at his home here on Fox Harbor South Drive. He is accused of hitting his co-worker Ronald Hull with his car and then stomping on him until he was dead after an argument about overtime.
In tonight's update, the search continues for a suspect in a shooting at a downtown drugstore. 33-year-old Glenda Manson died this morning from wounds suffered yesterday at the Reliable Drugs on 16th and Meridian. Police say Manson and the suspect knew each other and argued before the shooting. Detectives are still looking for a black male, about 5'7", with a thin build and wearing a dark jacket. Police are still looking tonight for a pair of suspects in a weekend abduction near an automatic teller machine.
Nightcast Mike Saxeter is at that ATM now with an update on the investigation and a look at bank machine safety. Mike?
Well, Bob, as you know, a Northeast Side woman told police she had just used this cash machine when a man and woman forced her at knife point into her own pickup truck on Saturday afternoon. She says they kept her for 24 hours, forcing her to withdraw money from ATMs around town. This afternoon, an expert from the police crime lab checked the victim's truck for fingerprints and other forms of evidence. Meanwhile, this became quite a topic of conversation in Indianapolis, especially among people who use ATMs. How to get money from a real live human being anymore. But as convenient as they are, these machines also raise concerns among many who use them.
Well, obviously, the concern is that somebody's going to rob you.
People, you know, harmless, come up, try to get some money, and can't even do that nowadays.
Police admit an ATM customer can be an inviting target for a robber and advise keeping your eyes open.
I don't particularly worry about it. I'm just aware of it.
Can we ask you a couple of questions? Now, police do have some safety tips for using ATMs. One thing is they say you should check the area out very carefully before you even get out of your car to come up to the machine. Make sure that there's nobody suspicious around you. Also, make sure you have your card out right away so that you don't have to dawdle around the machine very much. Caroline?
Mike, we're hearing a lot about this particular incident, but it's not the first time there have been problems at ATM machines, is it?
It certainly isn't. I'm not familiar with anything quite this extreme where somebody was driven around for 24 hours, but there have been numerous robberies at machines like this one.
All right, Mike, thank you very much for that report tonight.
Checking other news tonight, speculation is building on when U.S. troops could return from Somalia. Defense Secretary Dick Cheney says some troops could head home by the end of the month, but he also says Somalia remains a nasty, dangerous neighborhood and many troops will have to remain. One of the Hoosiers stationed in Somalia says she's not optimistic about what might happen after the pullout. Sergeant Karen Murdoch told her husband some of what she's learned overseas.
It's difficult. I know they're under a lot of stress. I know the conditions are rough, but she's doing a good job. She's happy about the job she's doing. It's an eye-opening experience because she's seeing a lot of things that are very sad over there.
In neighboring Ethiopia, 10 of Somalia's main political leaders started looking for ways to bring the country together. The UN Secretary General says the time is ripe for reconciliation.
One justice called it barbaric, but a Washington state man could still be hanged in just a few hours. That story tops our World Wrap tonight. Wesley Allen Dodd requested he be hanged for sex murders of 3 children, but a lawsuit has been filed saying it was cruel and unusual punishment. Today, Washington's Supreme Court ruled the execution is constitutional. Junk bond dealer Michael Milken is out of prison and in a halfway house tonight. He'll be there until March and can leave during the day to work. Milken served 22 months of a 10-year sentence for securities fraud. And doctors in France want more government action to deal with a deadly cold wave. 9 people have died. A toll-free number has been set up for the homeless, and schools will open their doors for overnight protection from the bitter cold.
Well, cold weather is certainly not a problem here right now. Really warm outside.
Rain has been a problem, though. We are still under a flood watch. Meteorologist Chris Wright is standing by at the weather window with more. Hi, Chris.
Well, Caroline and Bob, we've had cloudy skies, and this is the kind of scene you've seen all day and throughout the evening. Cloudy skies and wet roadways from the rainfall, almost an inch officially here in central Indiana, and we are under a flood watch. Flood watch stretches from western Pennsylvania all the way down through Arkansas. As you can see, temperatures rather mild ahead of the frontal system in the 50s, but back behind the cold front, temperatures in the 30s. Last hour, we were at 51 degrees. Right now, 41 here in the Circle City with dropping temperatures throughout the night. I'll have more